Live. Hey folks, David Molnar and Rich Coleman here. This is not a podcast episode. This is one of those things where I'm just realizing time is of the essence for this. And this is an impromptu Facebook Live because we just want to be really helpful right now. So here's the deal. Long story short, we talked about this in the podcast a little teeny bit, but there is several ways that the government is giving us money. And I kind of didn't realize, like in this stimulus package, the CARES Act, I kind of didn't realize how urgent and important and how easy it is to just get $10,000 right now. Okay, so here's the deal. The government, as part of the stimulus package, has allotted $10 billion for these emergency disaster relief loans related to COVID-19. Okay, and so what that means is that there's $10 billion or of $10,000 grants. Okay, if you do the math, and if I did the math correctly, that means 1 million loans or grants will be given out for $10,000. Okay, y'all can check my math on that. $10 billion at $10,000, it's 1 million loans, I think. Does that sound math? Hopefully that math is sound. Okay.
Don't ask me, please don't ask me.
Yes. Okay. So, but here's the deal. The point is whether it's 1 million or it's 100,000, I'm not sure where my math is. It's a little confusing, but I'm pretty sure it's 1 million loans, right? There is a limited amount. There are 330 million people in the country, and I think there's 30 or 40 million businesses in the country. I don't know exactly, but out of those 330 million people, only 1 million of them can get these loans. And I would love for my students to get them. And I say loan, I mean a grant. It's completely forgivable. Under zero circumstances do you have to pay back this $10,000. So here's the deal. This is only for business owners. This is not for, if you are just straight up an employee of a company, this does not apply to you. But if you're a freelance photographer, this applies to you 100%. So that's why I wanted to make sure that you guys know about this before those million loans get given out or those million grants get given out and you don't get it. So here's the deal. I put a link in this video's description. Hopefully you guys can see that. Can y'all let me know that y'all see that in the comments? I know that a ton of you guys are tuning in live right now. Let me know that y'all see that link to it's covid19relief.sba.gov. Okay, that is the link. And I'll go ahead and post that in the comments right now. I put that in the video's description as well. I just put that in there, so hopefully you guys see that, okay? covid19relief.sba.gov. It's down there in the links, or in the comments, okay? So here's the deal. You need to fill out this application, and you need to be one of the first million people, okay? I don't know that they're gonna turn down anyone. Like, obviously I don't know, but Rich and I just both, Rich is a full-time photographer. We work together, but he also has a photography company, so he's eligible for this. And he is a sole proprietor. He files his taxes as a sole proprietor, even though you have an LLC, correct, Rich? Okay.
Correct.
And how long did it take you to fill out this form to get $10,000?
About 6-7 minutes.
Okay. This is worth your time to take 6 or 7 minutes or even 10 or 15. Heck, it's worth hours of your time, even though it's a really simple form. And I'm going to show you some stuff that I was getting hung up on that I had to ask my accountant about. Okay. All right. So, hopefully you guys see it. Someone saying the web page was not available. It is available on mine, so I'm not really sure.
It worked on mine too.
Rich and I both figured it out. We're both able to successfully complete
and I just
the loan.
Texted it to like all my friends. That's how I feel about you guys right now. Like
Yes,
I literally like 3 minutes ago I texted it to my friends, and then David was like, "We got to tell everybody." So we're pumped.
So, because there's a couple things like, the government's going to send you guys checks for $1,200 or a maximum household check of $3,400. That's like everyone's getting that. I think it's getting direct deposited. That's a separate thing than what we're talking about here. Also, if you can collect unemployment as a freelancer for the first time ever, that's available to you right now. And then there is this $10,000 grant that you can apply for, and it will get deposited in your account within 3 days of the application being accepted, or 3 days of application, something like that. Okay, so it's pretty crazy. You literally are going to put your bank account info in there. It's a government site. It's all protected, blah, blah, blah. And they're going to direct deposit $10,000 into your account if you are a small business owner, a sole proprietor, etc. Okay, do this. Please, I want my students to get that $10,000 because I know a lot of us are hurting right now. Okay, so I want to show you guys real quick how to fill out the application and what are some things that you could put on there to make sure that you get exactly what you need. Okay, so here is the page. Like I said, COVID-19 relief.sba.gov. Okay. Okay, so that's this page, all right? And then basically there's 1, 2, 3, 4 pages of stuff that you have to fill out. And that's actually, there's like these first 2 pages are a little bit, actually the second page is actually the heaviest. This one's really easy. And the last page is just a summary where you're essentially saying, I'm not a robot, and confirm. By the way, if it's saying it's a loan, it is 100%, you do not have to pay it back, okay? Under no circumstances do you have to pay it back. I know it says it's a loan, okay? I'm not an accountant or a legal thing, but I've been reading a lot of stuff on this, and you do not have to pay it back, okay? This $10,000 thing it says disaster loan, but it is a grant, okay? Under no circumstance do you have to pay it back. There are different loans. There's the PPP, the Payment Protection Plan, that is a thing where it is a forgivable loan if you meet certain requirements. This $10,000 is a different thing. You do not have to pay it back. Okay. All right. So Streamlined Process. It's really easy. If you have a business with actual W-2 employees like I do, you check this first box. Okay. If you are like Rich and you are a freelance photographer or Uber driver or whatever, you check this second box. It says applicant is an individual who operates under a sole proprietorship, with or without employees, or as an independent contractor. Okay. So like an Uber driver or a freelance photographer, that's this one. Since I have 6 full-time employees, I would click this one. Okay. So you just need to choose one for this. For these, assuming that you are not engaged in any illegal activity, you need to check all these boxes, okay? And you can read more about this stuff. You're not a lobbyist, blah, blah, blah. Most of you guys are not gonna, whatever, okay? You're not delinquent on child support. If you are, I'm not gonna be able to answer the questions if you can't just check these boxes, okay? But this is the simple way to explain it. That page is easy. You check either the first one or the second one, right? Because you're probably not gonna have these other situations unless you're in a regular person. And then you check all these boxes as long as you are not an illegal citizen, right? Then you click next. Okay. Now, this is pretty easy. You're going to fill out your legal name, like my legal name. My business legal name is David Molnar Photography, LLC. This is what I got a little hung up on, trade name. I actually had to Google it just to make sure. Some people are saying it's a trademark, but a trade name is generally considered the name of a business uses for advertising and sales purposes, okay? A trade name can also be referred to as a fictitious name or a doing business as name. So in other words, this is your legal name here, which would say David Molnar Photography, LLC, okay? Legal business name, and this trade name might be David Molnar - your photography mentor, even though our business is technically the other thing. So if you have an EIN, if you don't know what that is, you may not have an EIN. Your social security number obviously is your social security number. Your EIN is a business employer identification number, okay? And my number is, no, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna tell you my number. But basically, yeah, so basically, if you have applied for an EIN, if you have an LLC, any of those types of things, you probably will have this number. If you're just a freelance photographer just starting out and you haven't like created an official business, you would just use your social security number here, okay? Organization type, if you are you could say sole proprietorship. If you're an LLC, you would say limited liability company. I'm actually an S Corp, so I had to say S Corp. Rich, you probably put limited liability company, also LLC. If you don't have an LLC or incorporated, then you're probably a sole proprietorship. Like, most people are going to be a sole proprietorship unless they've actually paid their, legal fees of $300 a year, whatever it is, to be an LLC. Okay. Is this for a nonprofit? No. Is this a franchise? No. Gross revenue last year, you obviously put how much you made in this business. So let's just say $50,000, okay? If you made $50,000 shooting, 10 weddings at $5,000 a piece, okay? Cost of goods sold. For me, it was 0 since I'm selling digital products. For Rich, did you put cost of goods sold? Did you put like?
Yeah, I just like put some, like, I kind of did like a guesstimation on like albums I've sold and stuff from last year.
Right. Yeah. So like maybe you had, $4,000 of albums sold, something like that.
That's what I did. That's pretty funny. Cool. I think I did 3 or 4.
Rental properties, lost rents. These things are like maybe would be really specific to you, but you probably would just leave these blank. This one says rental properties. I'd leave it blank. Nonprofit cost of operation, leave it blank. This is talking about provided by the faith-based entity. You leave this one blank. You leave list of secular social services. You leave this one blank. Compensation from other sources received as a result of the disaster, you probably would leave this one blank, okay? Provide a brief description of other compensation. If you left this blank, leave this blank too, okay? Primary business address, obviously you put your address stuff in here. Business phone number, put that in there. Date business established. For me, I looked at when I got my employer identification number, and I just wrote that date down. And since I'm the only owner of my business, I've never sold my business, I haven't bought the business from someone else, then the current ownership since would be the same date as the day that you started your business, okay? Business activity. Now, this was interesting. Rich, I actually just kind of figured out, I think, the best way to fill this out. There's no place on here that I could find that said anything about photographer, okay? So I think the best thing to do under this situation is just put communications, okay? Because that kind of makes the most sense. Like, it's communications. There was nothing else that made even remote sense other than maybe like there was a thing that said graphic design, but that's not even like unless you are a graphic designer, okay? So you can mess around with this. I don't know how important that is, but I would just say communications. That if it's red, you have to fill it out. If there's no red line next to it, you don't have to fill it out, okay? So detailed, you'd click none of the below, which is hilarious but some of these other ones, like if you did business services, you would have some options down here, okay? So since you're clicking communications, you don't have any options, but you still have to check none of the above, okay? Number of employees. If you're a sole proprietorship, you would put 0. In my case, we have 6 full-time employees, okay? So I would have to push 6, all right? So then once you've filled out all of these things here, you have to fill out everything that's marked in red in order to click this next button. It won't work, okay? Now, I'm not gonna fill out all these things right now. I already did this whole application, but then the next page is just simply like the owner's information. It's gonna be, just specific information about you and then additional information. Like these 2 pages were real quick and real easy. The additional information was gonna be like, I think it's the page where you put your bank account routing number for. If you have a business account, you would put the routing number and the bank account number in there. And then basically so these last couple pages are real quick, like this page right here, this second one, business information, this is the longest page. Like this is the most you have to do, and it's really not that hard. It only takes a couple of minutes. And this next page was real quick. This last page was real quick. And then all you're gonna do is look at the summary of all the, these pages. It'll say your address is this, your, blah, blah, blah. Here's all the things you filled out. Here's a summary. You can always click back if you need to click back and look and see what other things are available. And right now it's not showing a back button, but once you go past this page, you can go back and forth to fill out these things differently if you need to, I need to change the date or something like that, because I did. Okay, and then on the summary page, the last page, you're just going to confirm your stuff. You're going to click the button that says I am not a robot, and then you're going to push submit or whatever it is. And then it says, and by the way, there's a box that says I would like to be considered for the $10,000. You want to click that box. That's really important. I think that was on the next page. Okay. You want to click that page or that button. And then when you complete the application, it's going to give you a loan number. Rich and I's loan numbers were like 3,000 off from each other because that's how many people filled it out within the 3 minutes between he and I filling it out. So I just want to make sure that y'all fill it out ASAP. Okay. Because
do it now.
Because, as I understand it, there's a limited amount of these grants available to you, and you do not have to pay this back. Okay, you can verify with your accountant and all these different things if you want, but I've been researching this a lot, and I believe you don't hold me legally responsible, but my understanding is that you do not have to pay this back. Okay, several sources have told me that. Okay, and so if you apply for this thing, then in theory, it said within 3 days. So I don't know if it's 3 days of the application or 3 days of the application being accepted. I'm sure they're getting flooded with this. The point is that $10,000 should be deposited into your account in the near future, and I'm sure that could help a lot of you in this troubling time. So I hope that helps. You guys, we love you. We're looking out for you. For all of you Photo Mentorship members, thank y'all so much for being part of our amazing membership. Thank you for all the rest of you guys. If you haven't checked out the Photo Mentorship, what are you waiting for? But love you guys. Have a fantastic day. And Rich, you want to say anything else, or are we good?
I think we're good. Yeah, just fill this out yourself and then pass it on. Make sure you get yours in because everybody in the world's doing it right now. So make sure you take care of yourself first, take care of your family, and then, pass it on. The link is in the description and a couple times in the feed here. So we love you guys and thank you. I mean, that's why we're doing it.
By the way, yes, I agree with that. Tam Noah asked the question, what if you're new and made next to nothing because you're building your portfolio? If you were in business and you made money prior to January 31st of this year, I believe you are eligible in this. I mean, I can't say for sure, but I'm pretty sure you are eligible in that. Okay. So hopefully that helps you guys. And yeah, have a fantastic day. And hopefully you guys all get $10,000.
Thanks for putting up. Yeah. Thanks for putting us up again. Thanks for listening to us and loving us.
Yep.
We love you.
Alrighty. Cool. See you guys. Bye-bye.